it's good to have you join us again, and we are delighted because we know that the conversation is always about nation building, it's always about responsibility, it's always about citizenship, it's always about leadership, and it's always about how we get quality knowledge and, well, if you like, street level communication amongst Nigerians. How do we get to do that so that we can actually build a country, that we can actually prove to ourselves that we are truly responsible for what happens to Nigeria, or how the story or the narrative about Nigeria is being shaped? Today again, we have decided to bring, well, not just a gentleman, but a man of the scriptures, a man who also incidentally is also a journalist in a sense, a man who also is involved in public service, trying to see how we can make sure that all of us are answerable, paying our taxes, not running away from our duties as citizens. A man who also incidentally is a father and grandfather, and who is married to a lady magistrate. So we are saying we are inviting into the studio a man who also is helping us to fight corruption in a way in our country. This is a man who has traveled over 50 countries and is a mentor to so many. He's a public speaker, so he's an orator in a sense. Besides that, or on top of all that, to cap it all, is also a friend of this house, of this family. That's the NTA family. He's been here a couple of times. But he's never tired of coming to speak or to share his perceptions with us. And today we said to ourselves that, well, as all nations are grappling and groping and trying to see how they can find a space in the global economic dispensation, that we should begin to look at, is it right for Nigerians to expect anything from the government? Are those expectations rightly framed or phrased or placed? Can we actually justify expectations when we are not properly dispensing what can make those expectations realizable? So are those expectations only politically motivated, or should they be socio-politically and economically motivated? Well, we have a man who actually, I didn't say that, but let me add it to it also, who is an expert in banking and finance. That he got his first degree in that. That says a lot. So here is a man who is like a polymath. So he's coming to share with us his experiences in all these wide spectrum that we have defined what Nigeria is all about. Who is our guest? You get to see him, but first let me throw you a teaser. Then we'll come back to see or meet or, well, shake hands or shop knuckles with our guest. Stay with us.
Hey beautiful, your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight.
Now reading page 3.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G. Entel. Live more. Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G. Entel. Live more.
Yeah, that is it. The teaser. Dr. Gospel Emmah Isong is here with us in the house again, and it's my pleasure to welcome, well, not just a reverend gentleman, but a super reverend gentleman and a friend of the house. So, ask to you. You're welcome, Bishop.
Thank you so much. My pleasure again. I'm flattered.
Well, you can see the beaming smiles coming from him. Those smiles are entrenched in his mental capacity to look at these issues we normally place on the table and how contentious they are and apply himself dutifully. Now, so we are saying public expectations towards in building a greater Nigeria. So my cliffhanger, as far as I'm concerned, is this: should we expect anything at all as Nigerians?
Well, Nigerians, I'd like you to know that as you lay your bed, that's how you will lie on it.
Please, can you say that again?
As you lay your bed, that's how you will lie on it.
So if your bed is filthy,
whatever a man soweth,
he's going to reap.
Forget about the advertorials and forget about the rhetorics. Politicians put some sugar in their tongue. They speak very fluently and eloquently. The Nigerian voters continually, year by year, every 4 years, delve into the pit that politicians have dug for them. And they use regional, religious, tribal, and very egocentric and myopic yardsticks. I'm really saddened, but I'm excited about your interview because it will, I hope people will be listening and or watching us.
And join us.
And joining us, because I'm really burdened. That's why I did not do any research for this interview. I don't want it to be an intellectual display.
Exercise.
Yes. I refuse it to be one of those sessions we've had and push it aside. I hope that the Holy Spirit will give me humility and tranquility to transmit what is in my mind vis-a-vis what is in the mind of very many Nigerians.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, I like that. That again is like capturing the rich element of what we're trying to discuss here. So the way you lay your bed, that's how you're going to lie on it. So whatever you sow, that's what you're going to reap. Now, so citizenship, leadership, is that where this conflict is coming from? Are we saying that our citizens are not seeing themselves or are not training themselves or are not preparing themselves properly for the leaders to take over and they'll heap anything on them? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, the crisis is the gap created by ignorance of the citizens and arrogance of the leadership. Ignorance of the citizens.
The arrogance.
And the arrogance of the leadership. And I love Nigerian politicians, if I can say that very rhetorical. They know how to make you and I see you as a Yoruba man and see me as a Calabar man or a Kwaibo man, and cash in on that gap and perform their nefarious activities. And you and I continually become victims of these social gaps and demonic conceptions and very dubious narrative, which I don't want to insult anybody, which we continually follow because the Bible said, the scripture says in Proverbs 29, I think verse 2, it says that where the righteous rule, the people rejoice. But so very easy to know when the righteous is not ruling.
The people will be lamenting.
I did not say that. You said that. Very easy to know when the righteous are not ruling. Leave me with all this Christian, Muslim
dichotomy. Yes.
Please, for God's sake, chicken is chicken. I've said it on this studio before. When the juju man said, go and bring chicken, 1 white, 1 black, 2 red, he's playing on your intelligence because he knows that when the feathers are out,
how would you know which
chicken is chicken? He knows that the chicken is chicken in the kitchen. But he plays on the color of the feathers to make you have some suspicious and some ecstatics and make you very superstitious so you can believe him. But at the end, when you put that thing in the hot water, feathers gone, chicken is chicken in the kitchen. So the politicians know that a vote is a vote by any Nigerian, and no vote has religious inclination. No voter's card has a regional inclination. They know that every vote counts. So they throw this thing to the public, and we scramble over it. I want a southerner to rule. I want a northerner to rule. My brother is a Christian, he will rule. I'm amazed how Nigerians have been fooled for years. What's wrong if Muslims and Christians and northerners and southerners come together and for the first time take the destiny of this country in our hands? For us, because the power of the politician is in the vote which you and I have. I have a voter's card. I'm sure you have.
Yes,
one.
I have.
Why don't we agree whom to throw out of government and whom to bring in? Why not we?
Now, okay, so let's come back to that. Because again, you just highlighted a very succinct element in our geopolitical expression. So you're saying that the electorate are not gathering. They are not massing together.
We
they are not discussing.
Interfacing. We are not interjecting. We are not relating. We are not doing anything. We just wear T-shirts and face caps. Look at Lagos State. Look at Akwa Ibom State. Look at Nasarawa State. Every voter is excited to have a copy of the T-shirt and the face cap, and then you drop 2,000 naira for him to pay transport. He is carried away. Then the same voter comes after 4 years and begin to lament how things are not moving. I wonder how we are able to do the same thing over several years of our democracy and expect to see a change. But I don't know. How would the change come?
But what you have just said now, some people say that's lunacy, because if you don't
change what you're doing, you keep doing the same thing,
and you want
the same way, and then you expect a different result. I think it's kind of a psychiatric obsession. I think so, because Nigerians keep doing that. We keep doing that. We are repeating the same mistakes of yesteryears. From the time of Awolowo, we are back to the same mistake. Every politician that can promise us power, employment, road, clean water, security, and they have been promising this, and we have not even held some people accountable for their last manifesto, and we are even promising them second term. we don't even really care.
Okay, now, Bishop, we have to bring this ball back to your court. So are we saying that our religiosity is some kind of gap, some kind of robe to exploit the people? Is that what you're saying?
I would be tempted to look at it that way if I was not a religious clergy. I would think that, I think part of the instrument, religion in itself has no harm. Religion is like a knife. The knife in the hand of an assassin kills. But the knife, the same knife in the hand of a surgeon,
cures life.
Cures a life. So religion is a weapon and can be used for personal aggrandizement of whosoever is privileged to hold the yam and the knife. So I think if one says that, not too wrong, but to the educated-minded people, enlightened-minded people should not just be religious, they should also be educated. I think education and religion should go together, plus enlightenment and the sociology and the anthropology of our human relationship will help us take informed decisions. Because the decisions we are taking now vis-a-vis voters' right, electoral right. Let me give you an example. Politicians are not ready to run, even INEC, they are not ready to run. INEC has an enlightenment department, education department.
Yes.
But have you ever seen them? Have you ever seen INEC run
on the street
education for voters?
On the streets?
They don't run those education. The enlightenment arm of INEC is dead. Only the election arm is alive. But they have some votes for enlightenment of the electorates. They just come on NTA and some other station and throw one or two adverts and go and sleep.
It's all over.
So I believe that there's a purposeful, very tactical and strategic way to keep all electorates, especially in the rural areas, highly uninformed. And the Bible says that for lack of knowledge, my people are destroyed. So I believe that our politicians and those in the corridors of power and INEC, I'm coming out now openly to INEC. What is wrong with your public enlightenment department?
Unit, yes.
Why can't you, for God's sake, use the money allocated to you guys and educate these electorates? We keep making wrong and uninformed decisions, which is not even good.
Okay, let's come back to that. We need to remind our viewers this conversation is always about you. Bishop Isong is now thrown the ball as it were into your court. It's now placed right on your table. INEC is not educating you. INEC is not making you to be consciously aware of what you need to do to make sure you protect your vote, come and ask him. Because when we open the telephone lines, you should join this conversation. And this is global. We know that many Nigerians are watching from diaspora. Please be a part of this conversation. Now, let's come back again to where you have now pushed this cart. If INEC is not educating us, so why are we not educating ourselves? Okay, those days when we were young, we usually have, elders sitting under the apple tree and discussing with children and sharing ideas with them. So what happened to all that? Because
the social media space has polluted correct information, even though it's a strong platform to throw up the right information, but it also has helped in the fake news. And gone are the days our fathers didn't really vote candidates.
No.
They voted the cock,
yes,
the palm tree.
Yes.
They voted, do you remember
yes,
those logos?
Symbols.
The symbols of political party. Then we came to a point, people were now political party conscious. I mean, the NPN, the UPN, and the other, including the AC, yes, and other political parties. Then we're now in a point, I am telling you right now, and politicians better listen. We are now in a point, people will go to the voting booth, vote this party because of the candidate, vote another party because of the candidate. Yes. Very likely in Anambra State, people will vote this party, that party in Lagos State.
Because of the personality.
Because of the personality. People are now concerned of who is in charge of power. People are now interested who is contesting the election. Those days we voted the umbrella and voted the broom. Please, politicians.
Voted the ideology.
We don't vote. Do they even have ideologies? Do political, I'm sorry, with all respect, do the main political parties of Nigeria have any ideology that is different from each other? That's why it's easy to decamp. You decamp easily and get in a week, you are a national leader in that party. Why? Because there's nothing, I mean,
nothing has defined your transition from one party to...
Nothing is even different. I mean, you're still the same person you were. Nothing changed. You've not changed in your character, ideology. Nigerian political parties have almost similar on 99% ideologies. There's nothing different. That's why you can decamp and go to any party. People decamp front and back. That means you go to this party. If somebody insults you, you
go
to this party, and when you land there and you notice your enemy is seated, you return back to this party. At the point, you can even hold two party platforms at the same time.
Now, I don't know how you react to that. Funny it may sound, but again, that seems to be pathetic about our political situation. Now, how do we now change this narrative? Because if religious bodies, religious organizations, community organizations cannot change, cannot mentally help us to retract our steps and make the corrections, then how are we ever going to get that change done?
The change begins with you and I. It begins with a simple program like this. You throw up this program and it can start here. Nigerians can just cash in on this program, for instance, and begin from this narrative. Our eyes are open. We now understand. We've been living in the dark. We can start right now. It can be non-violent, viral change. It can sweep across from the north to the south and east to the west. We can come and be non-political party minded and be candidate minded. Yes, we'll be candidate minded. I don't know if rigging can stop in Nigeria, because that brings me to the point that somebody can be a good candidate and feature with good manifesto and then is rigged out. If the earlier we stop rigging, the faster we'll be able to throw up the rightful person. So change begins with us. We can bring the change. And then I want to see a Muslim, for instance, supporting a Christian candidate. And I want to see a Christian, for instance, saying, look, see that Muslim, he's not the same religion with me, but I love what he's doing. We should stop. For instance, recently the Redeemed Christian Church of God started a political and government department as instruction from the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. And somebody was angry. That's what we want the Muslim department to do. We want Christians to do. All churches, all mosques, you can start a political and government department. That's what the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria says.
Okay, but Bishop, let's get it right. So that department is what? It's
to create awareness.
Okay.
Create awareness. We're talking about enlightenment. It's basically to let people be aware of their right. The power of your one vote.
Okay, it is not
You,
meant
you
for...
know what is happening now
Yes.
is that Governor D says this is the candidate he has brought. President D say
This is my candidate.
So, and we all drop our voters card and said amen. You know, that's how wonderful we are. You drop your voters card and say, oh, the chief of my village says, why should the chief of your village? Why should the governor of your state? Why should your political leader, or your president, or spiritual leader tell you who to vote for? Your vote is powerful, and every vote counts. That's why the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria says we are starting the government and political department to educate voters, not to mobilize for any particular candidate, to educate voters. And our brothers from the Muslim world, Murik, Nairek, Interfaith, the other one, they should wake up and do the same thing. It is not anti-religion. It's not an anti-Muslim thing. It's not for any... we are sensitizing. We are leading the move. We are trailblazing. And we are saying, let's all be conscious, politically conscious.
Well, I like that explanation because, again, what is viral or what is trendy is the fact that maybe religious bodies are now, lining up behind candidates. That's not what...
No,
yes.
I am the spokesperson
Yes.
for the millions of Pentecostals in Nigeria. I was there at the conception of that vision by our able president, Dr. His Eminence Bishop Dr. Wale Oke,
Yes.
and fathers of faith, Papa Oyedepo, Adeboye, all of them are in support Dr. Magpai. It's not in support of any particular candidate. After all, in PFN, we all belong to different
parties,
candidates,
yes.
different parties. So it will be very difficult to misconstrue that step to be a candidature mobilization, because I'm sorry to say we all belong to different states in Nigeria. I live in Cross River State. We are APC, and my secretary lives in a state that is PDP. So we'll be fighting if we do that.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be fighting. Many people belong to different political parties, and some of us in Anambra, they are purely APGA. So we couldn't have created that department for a candidate since we all belong to different political parties.
Okay, now, a greater Nigeria. We know that Nigeria has always been described as the giant of Africa. I don't know if Bishop Isong is going to help us to paraphrase that. So, is Nigeria the giant? If the Nigeria is the giant of Africa, it looks like Nigeria is a sleeping giant.
That's a mistake we made from the onset. When we said Nigeria is the giant of Africa, we should have specified the giantness. Giant of Africa in football, giant of Africa in football. So we didn't define. See, those were slogans imported by our boastful tendencies. You are giant of Africa in what? In diamond? In petroleum?
Gold.
Are you giant of Africa in entrepreneurship? Are you giant of Africa in sport? What exactly? You cannot be giant of Africa in everything.
Maybe giant of Africa in population.
You are here as a big lawyer for Nigeria. Yeah, I think we should have specified. You cannot just be giant by population, because the age of Methuselah does not have any relationship with the wisdom of Solomon. So the population does not entitle you to be giant.
Okay, now, so that is putting it to bed that we may not be the giant yet, but we are aspiring.
We may be giant in something.
Yes.
Let's always say giant of Africa in farming, giant of Africa in something. Then the Community of Nations across the world will respect our view. You can't just be giant of Africa in everything. When there are other countries in Africa, and they speak Spanish, they speak French, they speak Portuguese and English. So are you giant of Africa in English language? No, let our National Orientation Agency sit together and do some research with the board, what do you call them, diaspora board,
yes,
and find out what giant are we. If we are giant in football, we can go and play with Ghana again and see.
Well, we are playing with Ghana tomorrow, so
Okay.
we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, now we are thrown into the diasporans. So how can they be effectively part of this expedition? Many of them left here because their dreams are not being met, or they are getting disappointed, virally disappointed. So they decided to check out and see if they can find somewhere else to build their dreams. So how can they be part of this narrative you're talking about, that yes, Nigerians must expect a change, must expect a new growth, must expect... So can the diasporans effectively...
Let me correct the diasporans just before we continue to make contributions for how they can contribute. Let me correct them. I've been to 5 continents in the world. I've traveled around the world. I've been to 50 countries around the world. I have some knowledge of diasporan life. It's not all uhuru for them. Well, one or two get lucky and rise to the apex of their profession. Well, because simply of availability of opportunity, integrity, and civilization, of course, security, and basic amenities of life at the doorsteps in diaspora. That's why many diasporans have that belief, if you go out, you'll be better. But let me say this, let me correct this. Many of Nigerian diaspora are not really representing us. They're simply criticizing us. When once somebody steps into London, into Spain, Italy, America, he starts attacking Nigeria. He starts speaking evil of Nigeria. You are our able representative. We are not saying support evil, but you must not wash our dirty linen outside. The purpose which they gave you visa in another person's embassy is to become our own embassy in that country. And perception affects investment.
Yes.
In many countries, when you go speaking evil and pouring aspirations on our leadership, on our country, those people now will become discouraged to come back to Nigeria to invest. So you do not know, many of the bad names that Nigerians have by even Transparency International are caused by the evil words we speak when we have opportunity to comment on social media and other platforms outside the country.
Okay, well, so that is it again. You have your own responsibility to bear. That is what Dr. Emmah Isong is telling us here. He's reminding you of your citizenship. We are coming back shortly because with him, the conversation takes such a long breath. So we need to take a break. When we come back, you join us. The telephone lines will be available. Send in your comments, WhatsApp us, or call in to hear his sweet voice so that we can then take on your comments and your questions. Stay with us.
We must dilate the eyes. We look for if they have cataract, look at the back of their eyes. They have glaucoma. We do a full workup for them.
You will remember the giant stripe they will make them. You will remember with nostalgia.
We're going to be looking deeper than we ever looked in before to ensure that we close all the loopholes.
Every edition is an arresting conversation with distinguished Nigerians from various strata of the society, bearing their minds on how we can realize the Nigeria of our dreams. Join us live on Close Flow, Monday, every week here on NTA2 Lagos Network Center. Close Flow. The conversation is about you.
Thank you for staying with us. We still have Dr. Isong in the house. Okay, incidentally, I said to you that also it helps to generate revenue for his state. So I would like to ask him. Nigerians are burdened by the incidences of tax, and they feel somewhat exploited because they pay the tax, but they don't seem to benefit from the tax. Now you are helping your states to remind people that they cannot run away from paying taxes, but are the taxation or taxes, are they justified?
Yeah, I will answer that, but let me correct an impression. I am the chairman of Cross River State Anti-Tax Agency. We work in collaboration with the Internal Revenue Service of the state, who are the ones that raise the funds that prescribe the taxation. We rather defend. Governor Benayade, the professor, some year ago, noticed that the poor are paying taxes too much. So he exempted the artisans, the taxi drivers, and the poor traders and farmers from taxation. So
the street level people.
He set up this agency, which I'm the head, and other Reverend Father and other clergy, to supervise and inspect and advise the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, that the poor should not pay tax, and hotels with smaller rooms should not pay tax, and drivers and keke napep should not pay tax. So they have been exempted from the tax. We also make sure there are no illegal, exorbitant, and dubious levies around the corners. You know, some of those taxes are not even from government. So as for whether citizens are justified to pay tax, I would say that one of the most friendly tax environment is the Nigerian states. They are very friendly in tax environment. If you travel outside of this country, you must have heard yesterday, United States want to even increase taxation, especially among the rich.
Yes.
What I should recommend is that the government of each states, even of the federation, should increase taxation of the rich and reduce possibly to the very minimum or zero of the poor. Yes, we can rob Peter and pay Paul. We can rob Peter and pay Paul as a means of taxation. We can let go our, especially our post-COVID-19 businesses and small and medium-scale businesses are struggling and suffering to survive. And then power is not on their side and security is not on their side. Like Professor Ben Ayade did in Cross River State, I challenge many state governors to look into the copy that anti-tax policy and replicate it in your state. Whereby I think Governor Odum Emmanuel too of Akwa Ibom State has tried to do something like that. I heard about Isong Wike of River State. People are copying. Let the poor almost have no burden on their shoulder. Let the rich help us. They have made it in life.
Okay, I like that again. I hope my producers put the telephone lines on your screen so you can join the conversation. You can look for the lines, one for straight calls and the other one for your SMS and your WhatsApp messages. Now that you have again shown us the light on how we can socially be responsible for our citizenship. So if you're an elite, yes, carrying the burden of development should not be a burden to you. Whereas if you're poor, then you should be given some level of... Okay, now, but poverty seems to be on the increase. So what does that tell us in Nigeria?
Yeah, as an economist and a finance expert, I can tell you that Nigeria is a rich nation. Our problem is the lack of adequate strategy to redistribute wealth, our common wealth, to trickle down to the poorest masses. Wealth in this country, well, drive through the streets of some of these towns, you know that we are rich. The kind of cars I see when I came to Lagos, it's wonderful. Nigerians are rich people. And Nigeria as a nation is a rich nation. Nobody should deceive us. But we must, through political means, devise ways this wealth can trickle down to everyone. Everyone should have a bite of this national cake. That is left for the politicians. The policy makers should make friendly, public-friendly, poor masses-friendly policies that can allow the son of the poor man to be in the same school with the son of the rich man, and allow us have basic amenities. You know, government is not really to give you money, but they are to provide the enabling environment that will help our small businesses and ideas to thrive. Provision of power, healthcare system, a healthcare delivery system, basic security of lives and properties. Government, we don't need anything from you. Just make us have an environment, a conducive environment that can make what I have an idea, business idea, to thrive. People have wrong idea of government. Government has no business doing business. But government is just to give us accessibility of funds, availability of resources, and of course,
to do business.
Every Nigerian is intelligent. That's why some of them are thieves. Because the intelligent they would have used to create wealth, and they have no platform. They use it
to steal,
divert it to negative energy. So that's what is happening. Have you ever interviewed a real armed robber, a real thief, a real crookster?
Criminal.
He's very intelligent. He's fraudsters. How do somebody get to hack into your account? Oh my God, I cannot even open my phone. I can't reply my messages, and someone is able to hack to someone else's account. I mean, we must come to a point, police can call those guys and say, come, let's sit down.
Let's work together.
You guys are so sharp. What can you do? What can you offer? I think that will reduce social tension and increase patriotism.
Okay, let me quickly remind you again the numbers for you to call. The voice call number should be 080-5975-3044, 080-5975-3044. Call so that you can get the anointing from Bishop Isong. Or you can send your SMS message just in case your call is not going through. 080-6350-8434. 080-6350-8434 SMS. If you have data, please do us a WhatsApp on 080-2038-4130. 080-2038-4130. Bishop Isong is very eager to hear your comments, to hear your queries and your questions, so that we can actually make sure that our expectations as Nigeria, our expectations for a greater Nigeria would be valid. Now, one thing again that you seem to also be very eager to share with us will be the question of, okay, now, so politically, how can Nigerians begin to reassert themselves? Can we use our cultural, like you said, anthropological knowledge? Can we use our historical fact to begin to reassert ourselves as the owners of this land called Nigeria? Is that possible?
Very hard question. I will attempt. We should start from forgiveness. There is an inward bitterness in every Nigerian against the system and against the leadership. Politicians know this. NSAS gave us a very little venting.
Yes.
It was misguided, but that NSAS, though it led to misbehaviors of youths and misdirection of energy, it should show a wise leader. People are not only hungry, they are angry. So we must start with reconciliation, restitution. Politicians, please, I beg you in God's name, if you know that you can impact lives now before the next election of 2023, it will ameliorate the vengeance. Many, you saw the last election in Anambra State.
Yes.
Did you see the number of registered voters and number of those who vote? It's a far cry. So how to start, how to assert ourselves is to begin by reconciling the fathers to the children and the children to the father. I saw a clip, if it was not acted, how a politician went home and was stoned. They threw pure water on him and threw sand on him. He ran away. I don't know. I saw it on WhatsApp video. I think it looks real. I pray that such circumstances will not repeat in many constituencies. That's why I suggest, not only as a religious man, I suggest as a spiritual father, as a social analyst, an economic expert, I suggest that the head does not hear well when the stomach is rumbling. So please, politicians and please, leaders, kindly profile, I don't want to say debate, they will still shout on you. Many politicians in 2023 will not be able to go to their villages to campaign. Quote me. Because there is a gap between them, the last election and the next election. And then you electors, we should not expect too much from our politicians. Times are hard, and the economy is hard. So those of them who have tried their best, we should not expect them in all burial ceremonies, all naming ceremonies, all weddings. Because the pressure on our politicians, especially financial pressure, is what has caused some of them to be corrupt. Because they now have to spend beyond their means and they need to steal to meet up this social budget.
Now, this social budget, is that part of democratization?
Nigerian democratization. Many nations of the world, it's not a money economy, it's not a money polity. Only Nigeria is money polity. It's money from the time you are buying the form, the exorbitantness of the form, the expensive, I wanted to say crusades, expensive campaigns are being encouraged just to get to the office of a councillor of a local government. In some states, you spend millions. Average governor of a state in Nigeria must have spent not less than 20 billion
to get to that
to
office.
get to become a governor, from time of consultation to the time of campaigns and election, to the time of settling of delegates. And EFCC, what are you doing? You are arresting people who stole yam.
5 million.
Who stole yam, not 5 million, yam. And you are leaving these politicians who they bring money in cartons and spend openly
In billion vans.
to delegates. So I don't know, EFCC, I'm an anti-corruption advocate.
Yes.
I also I partner with the U.S. consulate,
Yes,
and other international bodies. I challenge EFCC, ICPC to not wait for politicians to enter office and be corrupt and arrest them after inauguration. Arrest them from campaign. EFCC, wake up. ICPC, wake up. And tell us, where does an average politician who has not been in office for 10 years, where does he have 10 billion to spend
dispense
and become a party chairman or become a governorship candidate? We have to look into these things. The cost and expenditure, income and expenditure of campaign offices should be submitted to EFCC for auditing.
first.
If we don't do this, we continue to have corrupt people in government. And we wonder whether God hates us, whether there's more God in America than in Nigeria. We're simply not transparent in our activities.
Okay, all right, again, let's come back to this question of religiosity. Some people said to me, a friend actually sent me a message that in Japan, to steal is like you're demeaning your personality. Therefore, even if you leave your phone in a car park,
It used to be so in Nigeria.
yes,
There was a time you go to Ife,
markets or
you
something.
go to Ibadan, you go to villages in Ogbomoso, you see yam, you see farm product kept by the farm.
Yes.
And you just pick it and drop the money. You empty the yam and drop the money. Nobody took the yam. But if you try that now, they will take the basin, take the yam, and take the money. So I think the evolution of Nigerian society to this high level of apex corruption has been caused by wrong value system. We are clapping hands. For instance, if in my village now, I kept telling you that when I come here, if I am able to buy Rolls Royce and give my paramount ruler 10 million and distribute money to people, they will give me chieftaincy in 5 minutes. So we are promoting it in churches, in mosques, in our communities. We are promoting corrupt practices. People, we cannot vouch for their means and sources of income. We've given them awards. Who are those given awards in profit? Okay, whom does Vanguard made Man of the Year? As honest as you are, has Vanguard or Punch or any organization made you Man of the Year? You've been sitting here for how many years? At your age, you deserve to be Man of the Year. You are contributing now by bringing me all the way from Calabar. I don't know how much you have spent to bring me here to speak. You are not Man of the Year. But when it's Man of the Year, it's going to be His Excellency Governor XYZ of a certain state. And these are honorable, respectable media organizations. We need to change the narrative. We have to just change the discussion. We have to change it until we begin to celebrate positive values over negative and monetary values.
Tennises. Okay, all right. So Bishop Isong is saying it again. It's also part of your own decision. So the Man of the Year to you should be who? Maybe many of you should go on social media and see if you can express what Bishop Isong is asking you to do there. Change those negatives. Let's look at the positives. The telephone lines again, let me run them by you. I don't know if my producer is having challenges technically in reporting if you have had calls or not, but let me run the numbers again because of time. Voice call 080 5975 3044 080 5975 3044 or WhatsApp us on 080-2038-4130 080-2038-4130, especially our diasporans. WhatsApp us so that you can actually share your experiences and your own fears with Dr. Isong. Now you can SMS us just in case you don't have data on 080-6350-8434 080-6350-8434. Join this conversation before we close the gate. Now, so you seem to have shown us that all of us actually have a stake here. And
we are stakeholders.
Yes, we are stakeholders. Now, but the equality of that stakeholding is what is shaking this country right now. Even for the media, participating courageously in correcting some of these misdemeanors has been quite difficult for the media.
Yeah, I am the national patron of journalists for South. I understand.
Yes, hello, Bishop, hello. Oh, we lost the call. Sorry about that. Please, can you try and reach us again, please? We apologize for that. Continue.
As a patron of Nigerian Union of Journalists for South, national patron, I understand the position of journalists. Journalists' job should exceed beyond he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Because right now, the journalists around government media, private media houses, electronic and print media, even online, are paid. Yes, they are paid. When you go outside, get the news, your editor will edit it. And when you feature the news, right now, there's an interview I gave very hot, fresh from the oven. The person that interviewed me in Calabar, I don't want to mention the media, has not been able to publish it.
Hello?
Bishop Isong.
Yeah, hello.
The problem of this our country is the economy.
Can you please identify yourself? We don't have your name, please. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, what's your name, please?
Hello?
We are with you. What's your name? Hello? I think we lost him again. Please, if you cannot get us by voice, send us your SMS or WhatsApp. It's important that Bishop Isong gets to identify who he's speaking with. Okay? Somebody say it's economy. The challenge is the economy.
No, it's economy, it's political.
You're an economist.
It's economic, political. That's the problem. You see, we must not have a wrong diagnosis, because wrong diagnosis in medical terminology brings wrong prognosis.
Yes.
Once we diagnose Nigerian problem in a singular term, it has a plural capacity. Yeah, we have a plural problem here. It is just like our income are diversified. Our problems are diversified, sir. Yes, economic, but caused by what? Caused by political. Political caused by what? Caused by spiritual. Spiritual caused by what? Caused by moral. Moral caused by what? Caused by family. You know, so it's an entire buffet of crisis we are in here. That's why we bring religious leaders, political leaders to interface.
Hello? Again, we lost that call. Let me quickly apologize to our viewers. We are sorry about the drop calls. That's just a technical issue, okay? But Bishop is still here. May I advise, may I plead, please send your SMS, just in case you're experiencing drop call, or send us a WhatsApp. We will still get to see it and then share with the Bishop Isong. Now, okay, so the pluralistic nature of the problem in Nigeria, is that peculiar to Nigeria or is that global?
No, very global. Nigeria is a dot. Let me use the dot again here.
When you're looking at the...
Yes, in the global system. And that's why I don't really blame our leaders too much, especially those who have become president or governors. Because here you are. I'll give you an example. If you are governor of Cross River State, you are not just going to battle with the Nigerianization of your problem and the traditional problems of Nigeria in Cross River. You are a border state to Cameroon. And right now, the is it Nazobia, whatever?
Yes, the unrest.
The unrest is
seeping
into Cross River. Most of the kidnapping we notice in Cross River are not Nigerians. They are not from Ijo or Ibibio or Ifik people. They are from the ambassador people. They are looking for money to sponsor their campaign, and so it's a boat away 20 minutes there in Calabar to pick somebody into the creek and demand money from him. So and then Equatorial Guinea has also a similar problem. It also has economic problem. The banana and the afang and the plantain. You know.
Okay, hello, yes, you're welcome. Quickly. Hello.
I want to speak to Dr. Isong now.
Oh, please go ahead.
I'm watching him right now.
Go ahead, please.
Hello?
Go ahead, speak to him.
Maybe it's not.
Hello?
Your name?
We are listening to you. Please go ahead. We are listening to you.
Okay, I want to speak with Dr. Isong. Hello, Dr. Isong.
I'm hearing you. I can hear you.
Dr. Isong. Yes. I don't know how you advise our politicians. I don't know how you advise our politicians, especially those who are involved in diabolical activity. You know? So most of our politicians are involved in the spirituality and the killings of essentially infants, you know, joining one cause and another in order to achieve their aims. So how do we expect them, after achieving their aims, to come and work for us as the promises of the country? Wow. Please, I want you to advise if they can desist from such acts, and as you said, to embrace God. Maybe we'll forge ahead in this country. But as it is now, especially in southern Nigeria, those kind of activities are seriously taking place here. People dying, you know, people killing, stealing, removing some vital parts of a human being for this one.
Okay, thank you. Let him react to that. All right, you're welcome. Thank you. We didn't get his name though.
Yeah, but that's a very brilliant contribution and suggestion, and it comes like a question and answer too. Yes. I mean, because he himself has noted. Remember, somebody said our problem is economic. He has also come to say spiritual. So I believe somebody will soon call us and say it's political. Yes. Like I said, we have a pluralistic problem. But straight to what he has suggested, I use this opportunity to warn all our politicians, wherever you come from, to desist from ritualistic tendency, killing people, using blood, human parts, to try to seek power, because power belongs unto God. And so therefore every politician should seek God, receive Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, and be born again. Or if you are from another religion, pray for God to give you wisdom. Only God gives power. Nobody else gives power. I am a testimony that nobody gives power. So the more you shed blood and do all these things, you cannot be a good leader. That's what that caller said. You can never be a good leader if you come in through the back door to lead Nigeria.
Hello, yes. Okay, we are almost rounding up, so we cannot take your call. We apologize again for the incessant breaks in trying to reach out to our viewers. Please bear with us. Bishop Isong, well, it's like a family meeting. So we want to thank you again for coming into the studio. Yeah, thank you for the time. Yes, thank you for the experiences you have shared with us. We hope to have you again. Anyway, maybe by the time the election is just next door, we'll now ask you to come and evaluate how ready we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And for our viewers, the conversation is never over. Go to all our social media platforms. Be sure that if you did not get to speak with Bishop Isong here, live in the studio, you can get to talk to him on our social media platforms. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.